This is my update for the Bebop drone. As you can see, I have an extra drone now, plus the sky controller. I went ahead and purchased that this past week. It came in on Friday. Saturday I flew it a little bit, and today I flew it quite a bit more. I'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. I do love this. I think this is how it should be sold. But like I said, I'll get into that. I wanted to touch on some of the other issues that I have here with the shield. I still like this. If I had, my choice was this or the tablet, I would still pick the shield. You do have more precision when flying with the shield, with the joysticks. That being said, the iPad is a little bit more stable as far as the flight is concerned. Like I've said, I've never experienced a major drift except the one time that was with GPS, you know, where the drone takes off in one direction. However, with this, you do have drift. You have to fly it. You have to, you know, if you're going one way and you stop, you have to actually correct it because it'll just keep floating in that direction. Something that I had noticed with it, which I was dealing with. I was happy with it. It was, you know, as far as the distance I needed to go, this still covers it. I don't really see myself flying with this. I'm still not going farther than I would have went with this. Today I pushed it a little bit more, but I don't see myself using the max distance on this. As long as I'm at, you know, 300 meters or so max, I'm happy. I may start in the future go a little bit further, but that wasn't my purpose for buying this. My purpose for this is I did notice with this occasionally, I hadn't noticed it before, but in the past week I was doing some filming, and I had noticed that all of a sudden I started getting lag in the controls. Now there's always lag in the screen when you're flying. I did another video today, which will be up as well, where I did a lag test on the shield, and basically what I did is I used two iPhones that are synced in time with an alarm clock app, and I had the drone pointed at one so you could see the screen. It was sunny out, so I got to put the video together and see how well it actually came out. But the drone was actually looking at the screen on one iPhone, and the other iPhone I took with me so that I had a synced phone. And I actually walked a decent distance away, and it wasn't flying, so you didn't have, you know, normally they tell you for range test you're supposed to be 20 meters in the air, and then that's how you test your range out. This was sitting on a bench. The bench was metal, so I know there's some interference there. However, I actually didn't get much lag with it from there. I do think that has to do also with there wasn't as much changing on the screen, so there wasn't so much data, I guess, going over the Wi-Fi there. So that may have helped it because it was pretty much right there with it. There was barely any lag. Even when I was down to one Wi-Fi bar, it was very little lag. Something I did notice after I did the test, because I didn't think about it beforehand, I was using the new drone, and the new drone I actually have on the 5 gigahertz channel instead of the 2.4. Just because with this here, I do find you get better, you know, it's a stronger thing, you have less worry about interference on 5 gigahertz. You just don't have as much range, but for what I'm using, this actually puts the output power to where I need to be with the 5 gigahertz. I don't have an issue. So that was one reason why I think my range was a little bit more limited with this when I did the test today, but the lag was reduced. I am going to be selling this. I don't need it with this. It is definitely more compact when you look at the two. For travel purposes, this fits in the Bebop case that I had made, that I have on my channel here. But I can't fit the sky controller in there. There's no way. I did find some different ways to put this around. I was looking at a couple different cases. There is one that I've seen on Amazon and eBay that's for the sky controller and Bebop, but they want about $150, and it's an aluminum case, pretty much like the one I got from Harbor Freight for $30, just with bigger dimensions. Harbor Freight does not have a bigger case that I've seen or been able to find. So if I'm going to wind up spending $150, I'm probably going to go with a Pelican. I think it's a 1600 or 1650, one of the two. It's a decent sized case. It's pretty big. I was looking at some of the Seahorse cases, but they don't seem to have one in that size. The next size is bigger, and it's way bigger than what I actually need. I did see on the forum someone used, I think it's the Pelican 1600 case, and they were able to fit everything nice. They had the Sky controller, and then on the other half of the case, they put the bottom level, they put the batteries and the chargers and everything, and then they put another thing of foam and have the Bebop. And it seems to work pretty well. I'm on the fence. I'm leaning towards selling it, but I'm on the fence on my old Bebop actually selling it. My main concern was when I got this, I didn't want the frame jump that I've seen in a lot of the newer Bebops. A lot of them seem to have, as they're recording, the frame jumps on the recording, not on the FPV. I know FPV, we're gonna have lag with it unless they come up with something better. But as far as the recorded video, that's what I'm concerned with. And this one does not have the frame jump, so I'm extremely happy. I'm gonna keep the new one. And I'm just selling my old one, most likely, as long as I decide to sell it. That's something I'm looking into, but that's something to watch out for with this. I never had experienced that before this past week, and I was already on the fence about getting the Sky controller, thinking about it. For other purposes that I want to use this drone for, I do need to be able to do nice slow pans and climbs, and really need to be accurate with the input to the controls, and you cannot get that with the tablet at all. The shield, you get part of it, but it's still not as precise as what I wanted. I've heard that the Xbox controller rooted with the phone rooted or something like that works really well. I haven't tried that. I was already tired of spending, I got a really good deal on this. It was 150 plus tax, came out to 170 or 180, I think, total out the door from GameStop with this. So, I had spent money on it. I got a good deal, but I still spent money. So I didn't want to keep going in that route. So basically what I decided was, I was debating back and forth, talking with a couple other people on YouTube as well as the forums about the Sky controller, and decided just to go ahead and do it. And, get it, test it out. If I didn't like it, I could always return it. I got it from B&H Photo. They had them in stock, because everywhere else I looked, they were actually out of stock. So, and I wanted the red one. I didn't want the blue one. So I did get that, and I have to say, going on to this here, this is definitely the way to fly it if you want to do any precision type flying. To just mess around with it, tablet's fine, phone's fine. I'll still be able to, if I'm going backpacking or hiking or something like that, and I want to throw it in a book bag, I can go ahead and throw this in a book bag, bring my iPad, or even if I don't, I can bring my iPhone. As long as I'm not going to go heavy range and I don't need to do any real crazy maneuvers, and I just want to get some nice aerial shots, works fine. But if you want good maneuverability, you cannot beat the Sky controller, in my opinion. This brings it down to a whole new level. I almost think they did a very big injustice by not having the Sky controller available. I think that really hurt their product. They would have probably done a lot better had this been available. I even would go as far as to say that this should be a replacement part into its own, and this should be the full package when you buy it. Just because you can't get what you get with this. The control, I'm not even talking about range. I haven't tested it to this full range. I've seen people that have gone, 150 meters in the air, all the way out with it, and don't have any issues. I haven't tested that yet. I don't know if I'll be going out for a full distance, but I will be giving it putting it through more of its paces in the next coming weeks, testing it out a little bit more. But I have to say, I am fully pleased with this. The only thing I don't like about this is the camera panning. I expected to be a little bit more smooth. To me, it still feels like using the D-pad on here. I was expecting a very fluid, very fluid and smooth panning, and it's still a little choppy to me. It pans smooth, but it's not, it's in segments, so it doesn't do a full pan around the way that I thought it would. That's the only complaint that I really have with this so far, besides the obvious, the size. It is quite big. When you look at it as far as to the size of the drone, that's a huge difference with this. It does hurt the portability. That's why I'm looking at those other cases, trying to see if I can fit those in, make it work really well. And like I said, if I'm going to spend 150 bucks, I'm going to get a case that is waterproof, ruggedized, and I can take anywhere. I had gotten the case from Harbor Freight because it was cheap, economical, and for me to carry it for day-to-day work, works out great. I still may keep that for day-to-day work and just bring my tablet with me to fly it with. Like I said, I do find this to be a little bit more stable. For checking out roofs, tablet's fine. If I want to video a property, this is okay, this is optimal. With this, you can definitely control it and put the drone exactly where you want it. I have probably around 12 flights with this so far. I didn't count the exact number. I went through most of my batteries today, and I went through some of them yesterday. You know, because they do give you 3 with this. So right now, I have a total of 5 stock batteries. I have the 3 2500 milliamp batteries, which I still recommend these. I'm still getting, depending on how I'm flying, I'm still getting, you know, 13, 14 minutes of flight time out of them. If I hover them, I'll still get the 15 and change. But on average flight time, flying it around, it's around 13 minutes, 14 minutes that I get on flight time with these batteries. If I do some really heavy turns, which you can do with this, you can do some really nice banking, which I did find. I did see someone post on the forum, and I do think it would be really cool for him to be able to do is have a setting on the Bebop that you could actually lock the camera in place, so that when it does tilt, the camera tilts with it. Because with this, you are actually able to bank it into curves like this and have it come around. And I think it'd be really neat to be able to see the camera go that way instead of the camera auto-correcting and keeping the picture straight on the screen. I think it loses a little bit. I understand it for filming purposes when you're trying to, you know, film something. But if you're trying to film like a first-person view, in my opinion, it'd be good to be able to lock that camera. I would really like that feature, to lock the camera in straight. But other than that, like I said, I did purchase this. I am extremely happy with this purchase now. I will be continuing to test it out and see if, you know, if I find anything I don't like about it. I haven't noticed any lag in the controls at all. There still is lag to the FPV. What you see on the screen, it still has lag in it. You know, it's still kind of choppy. It's not a smooth fluid motion in the screen. So you still get some choppiness out of it. It's still not 100%. That being said, this is by far the best setup that I have is with the Sky controller and the Bebop. Hands down, for flying this thing, it's the best way. As far as what I have found so far. If something changes, if I find an issue with this at all, like I said, I haven't flown it that much, I will definitely let you guys know, as I did with the Shield, because I was completely happy with the Shield until I started noticing that lag. I actually almost had a crash as it started lagging on me and flying over. I was close to some trees, and it was kept, you know, you have that drift issue to begin with, and then when you're lagging and you're trying to turn and it's not responding, that's an issue to me. So with my confidence level of the drone, as I had said, I wasn't 100% confident with it. You know, I still was reserved, and I'm still reserved to a point. However, my confidence with this has gone up a lot. I do know I still have to be careful. Obviously, there's still issues that need to be worked out. But as I said, I have found it to be very, very responsive and very. To me, this is the best way to fly it. Like I said, you get the most control out of it. To me, my main concern, and this is what I'd asked a lot of people, and it's really a personal opinion on what you feel as far as what you need, and this is what I'll close out with. I don't want the video to go on too long. My main thing was, is the size of this worth what you get out of it? That's my main thing. I look at it as almost as a business model. If I'm going to do this, is it going to be worth? Is the payoff worth what I'm giving up? You know, with this setup here, you know, I have extreme portability. I can take it anywhere very easily. Weight-wise, it's actually not too much different. The weight of this and this is not too far off. This is a little heavier, but not much than this. So weight-wise, you're not losing too much, but size-wise, you definitely are. And I wanted to know if this was worth losing that portability. It definitely is. It's still portable. I have seen a slim form factor with this, which I'll show you right now before I end this. And I'm going to see The case that I'm going to get, I won't put it like this because it'll be laid out, and that case is good for travel and everything else. I may at some point, if I find a case that'll fit it properly, that isn't extremely expensive for everyday use. If you put the Sky controller in the box like this here, you can actually take the Bebop and set it in here with a piece of foam, and it fits perfectly right in there. So essentially, if you put this in, oh, here, hold on. Put this like this, I have something to sit it on. There you go. You put this like this in there. If you got a box like this, you know, that's not that big of a box either, and then you're still portable. This is kind of how they got the one that's on eBay, but they want, like I said, they want 150 bucks for it. And to me, the quality isn't there. I don't want to spend that much money for a box like that. But that being said, to me, this is still a portable, viable option. The video is great on it for what it is. It's not 4K, but for what I bought it for, it's perfect. It does its job. I do like it. Like I said, I haven't had any issue. I still have my rubber feet on this one. I'm being very careful with those now that I know that they come off. But other than that, like I said, this is definitely the way to go. The shield, just be aware if you're gonna fly with the shield. These are kind of, in my opinion now, flying with an iPad, flying with this is a toss-up. This is more stable, this has more control. Really depends on what you want to do with it. If you want very easy flying, use an iPad or another tablet or so. Like I said, also I heard the Xbox controller works really well, because I guess there's a dead zone in the center that this doesn't have at this time. If you want more responsive controls, you just got to be careful. There may be lag at some time. I don't really know what happened with lag. I just know that it was there. So it just, I was already 90% buying this anyway. Just because I had lag in this, it pushed me over the edge to go ahead and just buy it. So that's what I went and did. So again, if you guys have any questions or comments or want to know anything else about this, please feel free to leave me a comment. Also give me a thumbs up, it helps me out. And like I said, if you guys have any questions or any comments, or if you want to see anything else in the video, that's like the other video I did with the lag test. I had a couple people asking about it. I was going to do them both, but I just went ahead and did the shield. I didn't really have as much time as I was hoping to have, and the sun was really bright, so it was kind of messing up the video image. Gotta see if I can do that maybe more towards the nighttime one evening, and see if I can get it done that way if people still want to see the other devices on there. But other than that, like I said, just leave me comments if you have any questions, and you guys have a great day.